Hello friends, my name is Oldman Cloud. I upload daily Bazaar gameplay videos to my YouTube channel. Doing a Vanessa run today. Still trying to get those final few ranks to Legend, and I can feel like it's a bit of a weight off my shoulder, but also trying to put together some interesting runs for the channel. So we'll see how this one plays out. Always enchanted start. Toxic Lighter is an interesting chap, but Shiny Revolver I think is just too fun. Decent item by itself and the possibility of transforming it into something better. Unfortunately, it does lend itself towards a weapons Vanessa early on, which I know we've all seen several times before now. Some good stuff here. Trebuchet with the Shiny Revolver seems pretty nice, as good as early game Grenade is as well. Tempting to sell the cannon for the grenade, but I think we'll hold on for the time being. And let's take on Viper for the Fang, I think. Doesn't really feel like a Langzhong type build. So yeah, unfortunately the state of the game at the moment is just you're better off playing weapons Vanessa early on. And I mean, we got the Shiny Revolver, so decision taken out of our hands a little bit. But I'm certainly open to a type of pivot towards aquatic Vanessa. Would absolutely love to get a piano build online. It's not too great by itself actually. A piano build online, which seems like a really fun item, and I've had a couple of really great runs with it off camera. Another Fang? We can play the vampire build now, double Fangs. Really do need, we have a friend, really do need some skills to make that pop, but certainly two very fast firing weapons to go with Shiny Revolver, and we have the Trebuchet in the bag. There's some potential here. I feel like we possibly won't have enough oomph against another Vanessa. They look pretty angry as well. Oh, and a bit of defense on the bowlers. Yeah, look, I feel like we just don't have quite enough here. The cannon's going to run out of ammo, and we're relying on the revolver to crit so that it doesn't run out of ammo as well. Although we'd be pretty stiff if it doesn't, if it does run out of ammo, but it's much of a muchness anyway. They've got the better build for day one. That's okay though. We try to get our Trebuchet online, I think. So we bring in the Trebuchet and both Fangs as quick firing weapons. Keep you in the bag. And really looking for strength or left or right-handed. Take right-handed. And even with the Trebuchet, I think that has to go on Revolver. It's just too good on the shiny Revolver. Take a free weapon, sure. Not interested in non-weapons. That's not my scene, brother. Could have potential. We'll probably end up getting sold. Definitely can take Rogue Scrapper. Trebuchet should do work here. So Trebuchet can work. It's significantly outclassed by Cannonade, of course. But early game, a Trebuchet can be quite good. Just considering whether we want Trebuchet on the right. We'll see which item went off more in the post-match screen to determine what we want to stick our buff on. The Fangs at the moment don't do much themselves, but go off quickly and therefore charge a Trebuchet. We definitely need to get Trebuchet upgraded if it's going to be sticking on the board. Oh, we forgot to look at the recap screen. Anyway, for the time being, I think on Revolver is fine. Let's take a freebie, I think. Try to preserve some of our money. We are going to be leveling up today. Not interested in health and shield, so I'll go our friend here and just take one extra XP, I think. Now we level up and expand our board, which is essential. You're gone. And I think we want to play a little bit of haste, because the hasting also charges the Trebuchet. So I think this is the best build. I don't think Switchblade has a future. It's scaling, but it's pretty terrible scaling. And Sextant, let's hold on to just in case. And I think I will actually take a loot here. Sure, that's a good one. Similar question of whether to put on the Trebuchet or the Revolver, but I think let's put you on the Revolver. This seems like a pretty nasty build, and Mac is the matchup that we want to see.
My fight isn't with
Can look at transforming the revolver, but for the time being it's fine. Could look at putting an ammo build together. I feel like ammo is just worse than spammy weapons at the moment. But if you get something like, is it sword gun, sword pistol? Yeah, that's how you deal with a Mac. Sorry, Mac. But if you get something like a sword pistol, you can certainly consider the ammo pivot. The other reason to play ammo is that there's some really good ammo skills. Tempting to just take a small weapon and continue to preserve our money here. And that's a good one. Even though it doesn't work too well with Trebuchet. I'm going to put some more damage on our revolver. It's just getting a bit nasty now. Was going to say I would love to see Covetous Thief and put the cloak on revolver. Are we aggro enough to take the Hoover by Coolian? I think so. Especially if we put Grenade instead of Narwhal, like this. This seems fine to me. This guy's pretty angry, but we're pretty angry as well. Haven't taken any buffs to our life, but we hit so hard with Revolver and a little bit of haste for Revolver as well. Should be fine? Yeah, we are. Not looking for anything in particular, but there's certainly some good stuff here. Fast-firing weapons like the Uzi serve us well, but we don't get it. But let's just add more weapon spammy items to the board, like so. And then the upgrade, as tempting as it is to put it on Revolver, has to be to Trebuchet. That's a pretty significant buff to the damage coming from Trebuchet. And I think we want to have a look at skills as well with a bit of money. There it is, the last one to flip over, but exactly what we needed. Alright, well stop me if you've seen this one before. It is a weapon spam Vanessa early, but I mean we got Shiny Revolver, I feel like we can't be held too responsible for that. Junkyard Lance. Do we ever play Junkyard Lance? You can't play it with Trebuchet, so it's really a matter of whether you play it instead of Trebuchet, and I don't think so. I'm actually going to take the roll here. Salamander Pup would be great to see, and failing that, some CVR is better than nothing. Cannon I don't think is ever coming onto the board, so it can probably go. Just not a good item, Cannon. And we'll take a bit more damage buff. So we're pretty dangerous early, especially with the Revolver. We'd love to see another Mac. Oh, it's the worst. It's the anti-Mac, the pig.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
So yeah, presumably a defensive pig. Which it is. They're going square pig potentially in the future. Robe is a bad item for us to see. But we are very, very, very angry. Too angry, I'm afraid, for the pig. So, how do we plan now? So we're in a great spot. We can probably coast by for the next 1 or 2 days, I'd say, on this build with relatively minor upgrades. But we need to think, both of these are great. I think I'm going to take the upgrade to the Revolver. We need to think about what we do after then, when we can't just rely on this build to get us there. How do we actually improve? Let's just take the Cinders. We can just fully commit to a Trebuchet build. I think if we lose one more, it might be we might have to go too late game for Trebuchet to work. Not really interested in your stuff or your stuff. I think I'll just take a Hexa. Cannonade is probably how we try to do a kind of mini pivot. Could also look at upgrading Grenade or reloading Grenade. There's clear flex spots. Katana would be a nice pickup. But yeah, I think slotting in Cannonade where Trebuchet is the most obvious upgrade to me. And some skills can also be fantastic. Noisy Cricket, it's one of the best ones we could possibly ask for.
I'm proud of you.
JJ. And Figurehead is fantastic as well. So we're in business here. Definitely in business. Narwhal can go, and I'm tempted that Zorkid can go as well. The haste is nice for Trebuchet, but you're pretty slow. Grenade's only going off once, but is good for the time being. And we still have 7 items. Great. I think this is the build, and then after today, we look at getting rid of Grenade and Bolus, I think. For the time being, the Burst is worth having them, but we also want items that go off fairly reliably. In fact, I'm going to play Narwhal over Bolus. It goes off a bit quicker and doesn't have the ammo constraint. So yeah, I like this build. Tempting to Captain's Wheel can certainly be good with Trebuchet, but we're going for a more aggro build. Port can definitely be amazing with ammo items. But I think I would have been tempted by the Port pivot, but having picked up Figurehead now, I feel like we're a little locked into this build for the time being. It's too good to pass up.
What do you mean?
Especially with Noisy Cricket now.
I haven't applied.
We should be pretty nasty. Would love to pick up Gunpowder, Pistol, Sword, or your skill.
I was an honor student.
How would we make Pistol Sword work? Don't have to think about it. Won't be playing Cannon. It's tempting to give Grenade more ammo, but we just can't afford the slot on the board. That's how aggro we are. Another Pig, so not getting the matchups that we wanted, but can't complain too much about how the board is playing out. It's a very burny Pig. This Pig is overcooked, brother. Send it back. Send him back to the chef. I think we're still good just because of how angry we are. That is a vicious, vicious Vanessa build. You can make a case almost for putting in 3 small weapons instead of Trebuchet, because it's not really charging that much. Play it something like this. Maybe if we get another decent small item, we'll consider that.
I'm not getting out of this pool, dog.
Not here.
But you're welcome to join me.
What a cursed voice line. Not there. We have put in a little bit to buffing the Trebuchet. Does have nice synergy with what we're doing.
I would spar with
But, okay, Katana's a great get. I feel like Katana has to be added to the team. In which case, Trebuchet is probably gone, right? As good as it is, we're almost too aggro for Trebuchet, which feels insane. We really just want stuff going boom, 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 super quick. Maybe I'm underrating Trebuchet. We could sell Sexton instead, combined with something else, but you're gone. Maybe a throw? Who knows? But Katana has to be good. Zorkid has to be good, like this. Bolus can stay for the time being. Playing Pet Rock has to be better than Narwhal. Although we'd have to play instead of Zorkid as well. But the 15% crit chance is pretty nice. We could afford it with Sexton. I think Sexton is not the route that we're on here. We're too aggro at the moment for Sexton. So we'll bring in Rock and play you over Zorkid. And then Bolus over Narwhal so that you're the only friend giving crit chance across the board. And we'll keep you two in the bag. Okay. Spent all our money but improved quite a bit. Let's go loot. If we lose we're going to be reducing the cooldown of Shiny Revolver here. Right? Yeah. If we lose a PvP match, we start to rethink what we're doing a little bit, because we have to have a more late game build in mind. But so long as we're winning PvP, we can try to go 10 wins in 11 days, basically, because of how strong this is. Especially with Figurehead upgrades, decent enchants. It really is a very, very strong build. And we can look to add Cannonade as well. And we just want to take any fights that we can get to push our XP and get to level 10 as soon as possible. It's a huge breakpoint in strength, level 10. Being level 10 is such a big difference compared to being level 9. Seeing as we have 10 gold, let's have a look. That is fantastic. I mean, it's good. 5 damage across the board is good. Shouldn't say fantastic, maybe. And yeah, up against another Vanessa, even though they're level 7, so they've gotten some extra fights. I still fancy us, we're just so aggressive, but who knows. They might make us regret our elemental depth charge is pretty nasty, as is shielded diving helmet, but they burn an awful lot, but we hit awful hard. Yeah, too strong. The Shiny Revolver is insanely good for this stage of the game. Really, really good early pickup. We'd love to keep buffing that, but this upgrade has to go to figurehead here. We could try for a speed run. Speed run, try to get to 10 wins as Vanessa. This build certainly has potential for 10 wins. I don't want to sandbag, but we have to get there early. We absolutely have to get there early. Small items can be great. We've got a little bit of money. Let's have a look. Do we want to play Narwhal? Probably not, because we have Pet Rock now. So I think these friends are gone. We're sticking with the Rock. Me when I'm casting a terrible action movie. And Bayonet can be great. Bayonet can be really great. I think we actually want you. Because we don't care about weapons going off. We don't need heaps of active weapons. You're just effectively doubling the damage of our katana. You're effectively another katana, but only taking up one slot. So that's a great get. Normally, if we had Cannonade, for example, you wouldn't want to play Bayonet because you'd prefer another active item that charges the Cannonade. But with what we're doing here, Bayonet's as good as a weapon. So yeah, we're incredibly damaging even without Shark Claws. We're actually too fast for Shark Claws, I think. I don't know whether I'd play it even if we got it. Look at how quick we are here. Very nasty. Improving the grenade's ammo would be nice. Just giving it 1 extra ammo. If we could figure out a way of doing that. There's a Shark Claws, but like I said, I think we're, at the moment anyway, too fast for Shark Claws. We'll probably keep you in the bag, unless we need to sell you the upgrade as well. We can't afford the upgrade unless we sell something currently on the board. Gold Shark Claws is fantastic and scales better late game than a lot of what we're doing, but I just don't think it quite fits at the moment. We'll keep you in the bag, but I'm not going to upgrade it because I can't afford it. And given that I can't afford anything good, I'll just take the freebie here. No weapon skills.
Adira has surpassed me in power, but
Tiny Dancer is great. Improvised weaponry is really great. I think, given just how aggro we are, getting off the ground a bit earlier is nice for us, and I can't see us ever going beneath 7 weapons. This is just a boom, boom, boom. Anime fan 69. We're not beating the stereotypes, boys. We're not beating the allegations. Alright, you're a survivalist pig, but I just can't see. I can't see you surviving this one, friend. I am sorry. Did you even come back to life? I think you must have, but it just happened too quickly. Yeah, we're the worst nightmare, basically. If you want to show someone who doesn't like the current meta in the Bazaar, if you want to trigger them, this is the board to show them. This is nasty, nasty, nasty. Silence are always good to have in the bag, but I think this is one of the... Well, not always, because I think this is one of the few cases where we actually don't need it because we're so committed to this build. Single weapon shiny revolver could have been cool, but it's just not the way this run played out. Another Shark Claw upgrade. This time I'll take it seeing as I can afford it. We'll put you in the bag. And without much money... Oh, let's roll. Let's see what you're cooking. Nothing here that we're interested in. And we can take on anyone, so let's just push XP to get to level 10. Nothing here that we care about, but we just want level 10. And we want to keep on taking temporary boost as much as we can see it, because it just does, it's such a significant boost to us. And our improvements are otherwise relatively minor. The other big improvement for us is to figurehead, but beyond that and skills, it's a bit tricky for this board to improve significantly. I guess Pet Rock upgrade would be nice for high crit chance, but other than that, it's all a little bit marginal.
Size dilutes the brain.
Sure.
I think that suits you.
And that's one of the better upgrades actually. That's a significantly improved amount of burst and reinforces the fact we really want to find a way to put extra ammo. I was hoping that would be the gunpowder option. Extra ammo on the grenade. But even going off once is pretty juicy for us. I think we're still reducing the cooldown of our shiny revolver. Down to 3.1 is very, very nice. Do we now put Bayonet on shiny revolver? I think so. Although then we take away your right-handed bonus, which gets doubled by crit this way, but not this way. Interesting. So you're effectively going off 1.5 seconds compared to 1.8. I think this is possibly marginally better, but not 100% sure. But I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about it because I am kind of trying to speedrun. You'll love to see a Mac, unless this is a completely busted Mac. It's going to have a very bad time. That being said, we didn't get the temporary boost that we wanted today, but I think we're almost nasty enough that we don't need it. Shiny item start is so strong. You're a regen merchant, but... Oh, you freeze us, but I don't think that's going to be enough, brother. Not by a long shot. Nasty, 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 nasty. So what do we put our enchantment on? Not Revolver. I've learned my ways of overriding enchantments. Not Revolver. Quite likely to be Katana, I would say. Let's give ourselves one roll. Who knows what we could find here? Barkin, I'm afraid.
As a GSM and master merchant, I can...
Only Cannonade really tempts us. Even then, this may not be a Cannonade build, but I'd have to think about it. With a bit of money in the bag, let's take a look at skills, because these can really improve us significantly. Tiny Dancer is amazing. Can I get to 20? No. Ah, that hurts. But I don't think I want to sell anything on the board. Grenade, I could possibly sell, but the burst is really nice. Grenade would get me there with Shark Claws, and then you play Bolus. Is it worth it for 5% cooldown across the board? It's pretty significant, but I'm going to hang on to Grenade. And hang on to Shark Claws in case we start to fall off. It gives us a kind of a redraw almost. A way of scaling a bit later in the game, even if it's not as good right now. We get to level 10 today no matter who we fight. Your skill and CDR are really good for us. But I just love to keep pressing XP. Press XP. And you also have a potential Katana upgrade, which is something I suppose, and Sharpened Steel, which would be fantastic for us. So we'll forsake the chance of getting a better item or skill to go up against the boss with the... Oh, we get a Katana upgrade, which is something. The boss with the higher XP reward. It's a very marginal upgrade. We don't care about shield effects. This is not a survivability build, brother. So we're going to take a random enchant and hope for a damage enchant on the Katana. Oh, shield. That seems to always happen. I really do think... I know there's a confirmation bias. Oh, let's do that again, brother. Take two. I know there's always a confirmation bias with that, but I do feel like it gives you the same enchant too often. More survivability. Those are two enchants that we really did not want. But I guess survivability is something. Helps in the mirror. Definitely be taking gunpowder for Grenade. Sorry if I'm talking a bit faster than usual. I'm just kind of trying to see how quickly we can do this run. The more max we come up against, the better. Survivability is almost just completely irrelevant for us, so that's a real shame, those two whiffed enchants, but oh well. What are you cooking, brother? You're a freezer? Freezer and burner? I think we're a bit too angry, even without the temporary boost. So that's a long freeze on my entire board. That's not very nice. That was a frozen flame. Not good enough. So yeah, this build is kind of pretty typical of the best build to climb the ladder with at the moment, I think. Partly because it the runs just go so fast. Let's have a look at Dig Site.
Need some work.
I'll settle for something I can sell for a fair bit of money. I'll absolutely settle for Tropical Island. Even though defense is not really what we're looking for, I stand by that. The constant benefit from Tropical Island is so helpful and can help us if we start to fall off a little bit. Piano can be amazing. I'd love to make it work, but this is very much not the build for that. And we have to go after Elite Duelist. I know I said I want to go after the elites all the time. Well, this guy's kind of elite, but the chance for Big Ego is just too juicy to pass up. We block strength, unfortunately. Knife set we'd also probably find a way to make work, I think. Let's see. Not butterfly knives. That's too slow for us. No weapon skills still. some ammo skills, but let's go unique to Vanessa.
Look what the tide washed in.
We're not hasting. Reload is decent. Inexorable, we want to win before that can have an effect. Not playing any aquatics. Like I said, not playing any aquatics. Sure, it's so minor. That's pretty much a whiff, but oh well. Gumballs are tempting, but without much funds, I'm just going to take a look here and see if there's... That's a good upgrade. I think Shark Claws are gone now. I think it was right to hold them, but having got to 7 wins with only 1 loss, I think we now commit fully to this build. And I'm not going to be bringing out Shark Claws. If we need more survivability, the play will be to find... Or if we need more late game, the play will be to find a cannonade. But for the time being, this is good enough to get us through. So, not tempted to play Shark Claws here.
Go ahead.
Ironically, or weirdly enough, Shark Claws are not aggro enough for us. Even though we could stick them to the left of the figurehead, we want all small items with the exception of Katana, which is here because it goes so quickly. This will be incredibly satisfying if we win. I'm worried about the freeze and the survivability. Oh, I hate Bug Dually so much. So much. I can't complain. I know I can't complain because I'm playing a very meta weapons Vanessa. But yeah, Bug Dually is just so busted. Anyway, that certainly hurts our chances a lot. These are bad options. Still feel like we could rush our way to 10. Kind of regretting the Shark Claws sale now, because you start thinking kind of longer term, having lost that one. But I still think we could maybe rush our way to 10, especially if we can find ourselves some temporary boosts. And especially once we've upgraded Figurehead, that's a significant burst, improvement to us. Oddly enough, we do have a bronze to upgrade. Silver or lower items, so we can upgrade you. Nice little boost to your damage.
Quicker the fight.
Maybe could have made a case for a Friend the Rock there, but anyway. Lord Arkan has to be. The speedrun dream is over, I think. Ring would be great here, because it would buy us another loss. It's one of the rare cases where the ring actually works with the breakpoints for prestige. So I'd love your ring. Would also settle for your skill, which would be a nice bit of survivability that we're starting to look like we may actually need now. Such a shame we whiffed on the enchants. That's really kind of the difference sometimes of these builds. The Eclipse. Interesting. Can certainly work in an aggro build, because it's kind of a cannonade. Whenever you use an item, you deal damage. Losing Figurehead really hurts, but you're effectively increasing everyone's damage by 135, even though it's not showing up. And in fact, we put you there, so you're effectively increasing everyone's damage by 155. We still have 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we do. And then we don't want Bayonet, because we want another active item for Eclipse. We want another item that gets used. So honestly, it looks pretty good to me. Honestly, looks pretty good. Let's take a look.
Few warriors live to retire.
Wonder how the Eclipse upgrades. I've never, don't think I've, or not upgrades, sorry, enchants. Never enchanted an Eclipse before, I don't think.
I fight alongside you.
Even though losing Figurehead seems bad, I think this is actually quite a bit of an improvement. So now's where we commit though, because we'd normally be upgrading Figurehead. I don't think we can play Figurehead and Eclipse, it's just a bit too greedy. So with that decided, what do we upgrade? Not Figurehead, because I want to play Eclipse instead of Figurehead. Grenade for the extra damage, relatively minor. Do we just take, I think we actually go skills.
If not today, tomorrow. If not this
And that's fine. That's a bit of scaling. We do crit a fair bit with our pet rock and just with how often our items go off. And the fact that Eclipse uses all our items when we fall below half health is a nice bit of burst as well that I wasn't fully taking into account. Would work well with Shark Claws, actually, sadly enough. because Shark Claws would have scaled by then. Another dually. How does our ship go against dually?
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Losing the figurehead really does hurt, but I just don't think you can play them both together. This is a scary dually. Juggler you hate to see, especially with this Radiant Railgun. We weren't planning on any disruption anyway. Hopefully we don't get one tapped. Hopefully our items get a chance to go off with the ship. They won't need to. So the scaling from improvised weaponry is doing nicely for us here, because by the time we fall below half health, hopefully it's given us a chance to scale a bit. Now we probably don't want grenade on the board, because by the time we're beneath sharpening stone is great. By the time the ship is proccing, grenade is probably used up, so we're not getting the full value from it. I think these can go now. I think we're committed. If we're playing the ship, we don't want bayonet. Or do we? It effectively gets used when Shield Katana gets used. But it doesn't, because it doesn't proc when you use an item. So yeah, I think bayonet is not good now. I was right with my first instinct. And I think we're committing to the Eclipse build now. It's also just cooler. At least it's not just... At least we do something unique and cool with our weapon builds. Nothing here. So definitely on the lookout for a grenade upgrade. Some ship-on-ship action. We got your ship, brother. Eclipse also works well with a shiny revolver, adding 165 to each damage it does, and it scales itself with improvised weaponry. Yeah, ship was 100% the right call. It's kind of a better cannonade, I think. Gatling gun is not good enough. Still no weapon skills.
I did not seek this power for my own gain.
Well, we definitely don't have exactly one weapon.
Seek it to share it.
These seem bad. Yeah, really bad. Bad misses here. That really hurts the chance of going to 10. Can't take that. We have nothing aquatic. You're too late. And I just don't think we want to cost ourselves the early crit chance, because we're kind of an early build, even though our items go off so much. I guess we just take Arms Dealer then.
Much today, but there is so.
And I guess we scale our health a bit. Not for 16 though. This is a problem with late buy-sell skills. It's a nice upgrade though.
Make me proud.
So whiffing on the skill there is a big deal. But temporary boost is also a big deal. This is a cool ship build here. Dually. I think we still lose to Bug Dually though. I can't see how that would have changed with the ship. You're not Bug Dually. You're Nasty Railgun Dually. What is this? Don't know enough about the game to opine on whether that's good or bad. Or at least haven't played as Dually at all, I should say. I do know a fair bit about the game. But we get the win there because of Eclipse popping all our items off. Let's just watch that again, I think, to make sure. Not that it really matters, but I think what happened is they were going to win because of Railgun. But luckily they took us below half health, thankfully, and then all our items popped off, other than the frozen ones. So very cool, very, very cool. Ship Vanessa is working well. Sharpening Stone is fantastic, but you just got to take a monster fight. We can beat... I was about to say we can beat anyone. Do we beat you? I think depending on what you destroy, it's not the ship. I think even with Caltrops we should be fine when all our items go off when we go below half health. Or actually maybe we don't even need it, because we hit pretty heavily with the ship. So we did beat any boss there, I think.
See that
Caltrops would be an interesting inclusion. Don't get it though.
Blades to the wind.
Nice survivability from our island. Got a bit of loot. That's a good one. You'll be going straight on our ship. Don't ask me how we sharpening stone a ship, but here we are. Weapons, we can buy, sell some cheap ones. Boulder, you're a cool lad. You're a very cool lad. Do we play you instead of Katana? you effectively go off 2 seconds. We didn't grab any reload skills, but you'd have 3 ammo. Right? No, you wouldn't have 3 ammo, you'd only have 2. You hit so hard though. I think I'll stick with Katana, just because Katana going... Oh, you're a cool one as well. Katana going off so quickly is really good with the ship. And not running out of ammo is also very nice. Risk that the double barrel will be out of ammo by the time we hit half health. Pretty sure we beat Volcus.
It's personal. For us.
The scaling that we're getting from improvised weaponry is really nice. Because it makes it so much more impactful when we fall below half health. What are we most vulnerable to? Bug Dually and maybe some very strong one-tap builds. Properly scaled pigs start to be a bit worrying around day 12, but in general I feel like we're in a pretty good place, especially if we can pick up temporary boost. We'll have a look.
I mean, a customer.
No. Oh, I should have bought the weapons, that was a brain freeze. And too late for pistol sword.
You're not cut out for business.
Let's take the tyrant.
Nothing I care about upgrading, as tempting as it is to get the increased damage on the grenade. Let's try again for skills. We don't do this, brother. We don't use non-weapon items. Our entire board is weapons. Desperate Strike is great against pigs. I'm gonna roll. There has to be better here, right? Yeah, that is better for sure. Steel Storm is really strong. That's a really big buff against the board. So we did well with a skill there, having whiffed at a few before. Take gumballs. I reckon we are 60 to 70% chance to get a win today. But if we lose today, I think our odds of getting to 10 are fairly low. So it's an important match. Have to match up well against Vanessa. I feel like we match up well against other aggro Vanessas. And with the Eclipse, surely we match up relatively well against Aquatic Vanessa as well. Elemental Depth Charge may be a problem. There it is. They've got some nice skills as well. This Salt Claw is going to be going crazy mode, but they don't have much in the way of survivability, so I think we're completely fine once we fall below half health, and in fact we don't even need it. So there's the 10 wins. A relatively typical meta Vanessa build, at least the way it started out. But Shiny Revolver is always cool to see in action, and the Eclipse pivot was a lot of fun and made it kind of unique towards the end there anyway, or a bit more unique anyway. So as always, I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing if you're enjoying the content. I'm a tiny little channel, so it helps me out a great deal. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.